Delta Force has been a game that's been on my radar for quite some time, and seems like a lot of other people as well, people who are a fan of the Battlefield series, people who might even like Call of Duty as well, especially those DMZ crowd that was created in Modern Warfare 2, and then completely dropped for whatever reason. I don't know why. That game mode was awesome. So now we have Delta Force that just released over on PC, coming out on console later on, I think in March area. Now a lot of people have been super excited about this game. I jumped in and played the beta and it was fun, right? I jumped in and played the extraction mode because I had this DMZ size hole in my heart, and it seems like this game is going to be able to fulfill that, where it's a little more hardcore, a little more fleshed out, but also a little more far more casual than, say, like a Tarkov game. But since the official PC release of Delta Force, things have been rather mixed, which really surprised me because this game has been super well received by people who have played it, that like these type of games. They're like, they're doing Battlefield better than Battlefield. They're bringing back the DMZ mode I loved so much from Call of Duty. And now it's really people kind of more complaining about the game rather than actually praising it. So what's really going on? Right now, as it sits on Steam when it comes to the rating of the game, it's could be a lot better, I would say. If you look right here, it's mixed at 65% approval with 23, almost 24,000 reviews. I made a short form video talking about this exact thing. And in the video, I talked about the main reasons why people are not happy right now with Delta Force. You guys certainly blew up this video because, like, I mentioned the things that people are upset with when it comes to Delta Force, and it seems to resonate with you guys. And the main things we'll talk about in this video when it comes to why people are upset with this Delta Force with the TLDR is, one, is XP limiting when it comes to progression, bad pings and performance. Oh, and yes, there is skill-based matchmaking in this game. Ultimately, it's the kernel level anti-cheat that's in this game. More on that later. But if you like this type of videos, like, subscribe is always appreciated. Let's get right into those details. All right, so we earned our way up to get to check out the battle pass, the Genesis battle pass, if you want to enter the pass for all modes here. As you can see that there is actually a weekly limit of 235,000 XP that you can earn right now, which kind of seems a bit rough, right? Like, I mean, obviously it's just a number depending on however you feel like your progression should be. But the thing is that, like, just knowing that there's a limit, right, to kind of cap people up, putting that hard limit on people for playing the game that they love and want to continue engaging with, right? But to put that limit on them makes it feel like it's just like you're just gating content to keep engagement up, effectively locking you at 25 levels you can do. So God forbid you skip a week or two from playing this game, you might not fully be able to get it, which then all the content you want from that customization is gone. And if you're a highly engaged player, you want that customization. You want to feel cool and special in your cool new game. We actually did get a dev response about this, saying that they're currently in open beta phase, and our first season is relatively short. As a result, we have adjusted the season pass completion time to make it easier to players to finish. We will also closely monitor players tackle the season pass and will make any necessary adjustments in the future there. But notice there's one key omission in that entire statement. They are going to gate your XP. You're going to get limited, so you have to come back the next following week to keep playing the game to boost their engagement numbers. And there are, what, how many tiers are in this battle pass? Oh my gosh, 150 tiers in this battle pass. So you're limited at 25 right now, meaning you got some time, you got some grinding you gotta do, brother, before the next season rolls in. And some of this customization looks pretty cool, right? Like, you have some pretty cool coatings for your various weapons in the game. Your vehicles, you can change the coloring on them as well. You get some drops, you get some nameplates, emblems, helicopter customization as well. Just like your kind of standard stuff, but it's like, it looks cool. And if you're a highly engaged player, you're going to want to unlock this stuff. Another big complaint people are having about this game is the ping in this. Like, right, you have to make sure that, like, in a game like Battlefield-like game, Delta Force, faster time to kills, you need to make sure that, like, pings are good, because if you're on latency, obviously not a good thing to do. And in this comment right here, someone said, crappy matchmaking, 200 plus ping every time I play. It feels like Temu Battlefield. Or Temu, however you pronounce it. But for my playtime of Delta Force, it doesn't really feel like the ping isn't that bad. Of course, I'm playing in the United States of America, over on the West Coast during the day. My pings were fine, getting around 50 to 90 ping, which is pretty standard for this type of game. And the performance was pretty good. Like, I just loaded in, went on medium settings, locked my frames with my frame rate of my monitor with 144, and it played smoothly. If you're reading any kind of reviews saying that, like, oh my god, this game performance is terrible, that review might have been a little early. If you are someone who has had issues with connection, you actually can't change your server, which is just super rough, right? Like if you're an Aussie player, you select Australian servers, and there's not that many people, well, you have to make a new account now. And another big talking point for Delta Force would be skill-based matchmaking, the boogeyman of all matchmaking systems in every single shooter out there. And yes, Delta Force does have skill-based matchmaking in unranked and ranked matches. And right now, it's just the boogeyman terminology of just saying, if you have SBMM, your game is awful, right? How dare you do that to us players? But the thing is, though, like we've seen games recently try no skill-based matchmaking, and it didn't really work out for them, as in talking about X to Fight. Now, that's not the only reason why that game failed, but it certainly could be a reason why. Because skill-based matchmaking isn't really based on strictly skill, it's more engagement optimized matchmaking, right? That whatever will keep you playing more, spending more money, that's what it's made for, right? To make you engage with the game more. We've seen this with Halo, we've seen this with Call of Duty as well. We know what the system's meant to do. It's the main reason why there is no form of server browser in this game like you would have with a regular Battlefield game, because that just completely removes the engagement optimized matchmaking system. They want to make sure that you keep playing the game as much as possible, and skill plays a big factor. The reason why it's referred to as skill-based matchmaking is just because that's like the main thing you notice when you're playing the game, right? It's meant to be more of just optimize your engagement, but the main thing that you feel when you're playing the game is skill level. Now, I'm not against skill-based matchmaking being in a game. It just depends how they implement it, right? If you're just trying to save like the newest and new players or players with even with disabilities, sure, put that in the game and keep those super high skill players like battling out in their own ranked mode kind of thing. But the general audience, there needs to be a pretty good skill gap of just being like people who are just kind of playing for fun and people who are playing casually competitive. That kind of makes sense, like how I like to play, where I don't like to sweat it out completely, but I also do enjoy shooting some noobs in the face. But the biggest issue that people are having with Delta Force right now actually has nothing to do with the game right now, nothing with the actual gameplay mechanics. Like, yeah, it has its issues with balancing, but that stuff can get fixed out. One thing that's kind of permanent about Delta Force that people are most upset about, and that is the anti-cheat, which makes you think like, why would you be upset about anti-cheat? Cheaters suck. But the thing is that the company that made this game, they're Chinese owned, right? And they use an anti-cheat that is very intrusive to your system and your privacy, a kernel level anti-cheat, which plenty of other games out there do it as well, right? We've seen like Valorant, we've seen Call of Duty, plenty of other games utilize kernel level anti-cheat, which really goes down to like your base system level that's just rather intrusive on your privacy. But the reason why people are most upset about this when it comes to Delta Force is because they're a Chinese-owned company. You can see the top-rated dislikes on this right here are from people who actually didn't even play the game. I think they just installed it so they can leave a review on here. But we do see some people out here, like even with like 50 hours of gameplay right here, saying that it installs kernel level anti-cheat and call it like Chinese level spyware. Which, yeah, that's super concerning, right? Especially with the current state of like political issues that we have in the world. TikTok possibly getting banned because of it being a Chinese-owned company. Also with the recent news, right, of Pokemon Go that turns player data into like an AI navigator, right? Like it actually uses your data that you play in Pokemon Go to help build out some AI navigation tools and things like that. So even though it might not be a nefarious reason why your data is getting used, they could still use your data in some kind of way, which again is super concerning being a Chinese-owned company and we're in the United States. So if that concerns you, which it should, there are some TLDRs, things that were revealed on Reddit, I think kind of help ease people's concerns when it comes to the anti-cheat in this game, talking about how it's safe. Like it's actually not too bad to use, because basically when it's called ACE, right? That's called the anti-cheat for Delta Force. And they said it's not running when the game's not running, which is super important to know, right? But it's ACE spying on people, so you can't prove or disprove it though. So there is that. But you see the other kernel level games out there that have anti-cheats owned by Chinese companies like Valorant, Escape from Tarkov, PUBG, Armor 3, Call of Duty, yes, Call of Duty, Fortnite, Apex Legends, and now Delta Force as well. But the thing is, like, well, you can see, like, especially with Tarkov, always runs even if the game isn't on. Same thing with Valorant. So it's like, I think people are mainly upset about this with people who don't know, like, the full extent of what the anti-cheat systems are like in the world. Though you should rightfully be concerned about that. That's something that is uneasy to a lot of people. Since the launch of the game, reviews have generally been improving. You can see on Steam alone over here that the mixed reviews of Delta Force being at 65, it was previously at 55% right here, but you can see over time that it has been more likes than dislikes right now, but there's still a significant amount of dislikes within the community that lets you know, like, hey, there's a good amount of people out there who are not happy with Delta Force. But are these reviews from people who are just salty gamers, terminally online people who just want to negatively bomb review and stuff like that? Well, there's only one way to truly find out. So when I first booted into the game, I noticed that you actually have to be level 2 to check out the battle pass. And then when I went to go check out like all the other different game modes you can play in here, you have to like rank up a bit to get into these game modes. I don't know if there's like an anti-cheating kind of thing or something, but like the lockout game modes based on just like your experience, I don't know, I just find that really annoying. So we've jumped in and see what the big deal is about this game and why people are having so many issues with it. So right now, like, no, people cited ping being an issue. Right now it says my delay is at 55 milliseconds. I'm playing at like 10:30 on a Wednesday. I'll say for right now, the performance is all right. I just hit go. Like I didn't really tweak my settings a whole lot. I probably could make it a little bit better, but it seems like my frame is kind of fluctuating from like 100 plus to like 60 something. What is this guy doing right here? For the second game I'm on, we're playing around 90 ping, which isn't really ideal. It definitely could be better. Certainly could be worse though. So there is that. I am the worst at throwing grenades. Oh, you unsuspecting victims. There we go. Nice little double. And make it a triple. Oh my god, this spot's OP. I like it right here. This is playing like Rush from Battlefield, right? If you liked playing Rush in Battlefield, you'll like this mode. No, you don't. No, you don't. I'll see my teammate ping this guy right around the rocks so I can see where he is. Unfortunately for him. That's one thing I always liked about the Rush kind of game mode is that you can always just get right into the action, right? You don't have to like look for it. There's always a front line. You just gotta keep up with it and you'll have fun. Go action, wrist rockets! Smoke is always key with these type of modes. Oh, surprise, friend. And a little double it up again. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I'm getting just massive Battlefield feels by playing this right now. Like, I feel like I'm just playing a fun version of Battlefield, which is something I haven't really had in quite some time. We got some special, like, super fast leg ability, so let's just try this out right here. We're just gonna go fast for a minute here. Runs for quite some time, so you can just zoom if you need to get from point A to B really fast, which is actually kind of fun. It's just a fun ability to use right now. No, if they put this like in an actual Battlefield game, people will be pissed. And all the other various characters in this game do have their own abilities as well. Just like, but your kind of typical stuff, recon stuff, ammo supply, healing, all that kind of super ability kind of stuff that you just kind of get for kind of just playing the game. Like at the recharge rate on this thing is pretty fast. Like I'm already at 40% since I used that thing. Yeah, once you for the flank, friends. You too. The time to kill in this game also feels pretty good. It's not super fast, but it's not super slow or anything like that. You know, it's not like you're playing Halo or something like that. You know, you're playing something that's like a little bit higher than Call of Duty, but kind of in line with Battlefield as well, but probably a little bit slower than Battlefield, if anything, I would say. I don't know if you guys remember the TTK in Battlefield 3, but my goodness, that was fast. Like, I remember using the AEK and just slaying people. A little double it up again. Oh, accidentally pressed X, so we gotta go fast now. This recon ability is clutch. It makes it so much easier to find who you need to shoot. Makes it, you have just wall hacks. Yeah, it's pretty easy to find people to shoot. Oh my god, the amount of smoke that's in this lobby. Hey, look at that. We got ourselves a win. We finished in top 6 on the team rank. We had 24 unalives. I think we did all right for ourselves. So the recap, are people's issues with Delta Force warranted? Well, yes, and a little bit of no. You can see from my time playing the game that performance is good. The pings are fine. I haven't had any issues with them. They weren't phenomenal, but they certainly weren't like awful, like bad enough to where I'm like, don't recommend the game kind of bad. Skill-based matchmaking, well, that's going to be something that's really up to you. If it really bothers you that much, we'll see how strict it's going to be in this game. It just takes time and kind of them fine-tuning things in the back end. But the big one, the kernel level anti-cheat with a Chinese-owned company, it is concerning. Yeah, that's something that makes me feel uneasy about playing this game, especially for how much of like a Chinese knockoff this game is as of Battlefield, but it is releasing at the perfect time when Battlefield interest is rather low. So, I mean, I'm gonna probably keep playing it because it's fun. I'm enjoying it. If you guys enjoyed this type of videos, like and subscribe is always appreciated. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace out.